Hello, how are you? I am Angel. Welcome to the channel. Faithful to my habit of reading at the wrong time, I have just finished this beautiful historical novel, Francisca, Princess of Peru, written by the Peruvian novelist Alonso Cueto and published by Random House in May 2023. I did enjoy his previous novel, La Perricholi, Queen of Lima, but this one fascinated me even more. Why? Because less is known about Francisca and even less has been written. Who was Francisca Pizarro? One of the first mestizas, or mixed blooded women, born in this land, precisely in the newly founded city of Jauja in 1534, daughter of Francisco Pizarro, the conqueror of Peru, and the Inca princess Quispecisa, daughter of the Emperor Huayna Cápac and sister of Atahualpa. We know that her mother, daughter of the famous female leader or curaca Contarguacho from Huaylas, present-day Angas region, would be baptized as Inés Huaylas, and at 3, Francisca would be separated from her to be raised as a Spanish and Christian in the care of Inés Muñoz, an exceptional woman, sister-in-law of Francisco Pizarro, and definitely, as I said in other videos, one of the mothers of this mestizo Peru. We also know that at the age of 7, Francisco was murdered by his enemies. The Almagrists was a rival faction of the Spanish conquistadors, and the lives of Francisca and her little brother Gonzalo were in danger. Despite everything, she survived and became rich. By a royal order, she was sent to Spain in her adolescence and married her uncle, Hernando. She would never return to Peru again. In 443 pages, divided into a proem and 2 parts, each with 12 chapters, they give us a place and a date, and narrated by Francisca, that is, in the first person. There are accounts of her birth in Jauja, page 83, daughter of Francisco Pizarro, a man of many feats, page 44, a man who rose from the bottom but who, in his sad destiny, was very similar to Atahualpa, the man whose execution he ordered. Francisca herself says, "In that respect, my uncle Atahualpa and my father were similar. They both trusted too much in their immortality. They did not pay attention to the alarm bells," page 134. Daughter of Quispecisa as well. Inca princess from whom Francisca herself was taken away, but who was reunited with her when she was still a child, page 78. A woman who lost everything, page 80, and who tries to see her daughter furtively and talk to her daughter, hiding from a severe and upright Inés Muñoz, who seems to ignore everything but knows everything, page 115. There are many characters in this work. Inés Muñoz, a woman who had lost her 2 children on the trip from Spain to Peru, the first married Spanish woman to arrive in these lands, a devout Christian and with such a formidable character that even having her brother-in-law Francisco and her husband Martín de Alcántara murdered, she had to be in charge of protecting the Marquis's children, page 145, who could also have been targets of the Almagrists. Cristóbal Vaca de Castro, mentioned for the first time on page 161, and that would represent order and justice in the midst of the chaos of civil wars between conquerors. Inés and Pizarro's children, with Quispecisa and Cuxirimay Ocllo, the other Inca princess, Pizarro's wife, would cling to him. This one, Cuxirimay, baptized as Angelina Yupanqui, introduces herself and speaks in the first person on page 162. Gonzalo Pizarro, Francisca's impetuous uncle, who wanted the girl to know about his exploits and admire them. He might have wanted something more from Francisca, but Doña Inés was not going to make it that easy for him. Page 190. Her suitors, page 217, among them Martín, the man who would be her true love, page 219. I think he was a fictional character. Likewise, Francisca, now older, imagines what her life with him could have been and why she couldn't stay with him in her youth, page 250. Perhaps because, as Inés Muñoz told her, You're going to have to leave to Spain, Francisca, 235. And so this novel continues with her very long trip to Spain, ordered by the king never to return, her relationship with her uncle Hernando Pizarro, the only survivor of the brothers with such an illustrious surname and imprisoned in his residence, the castle, the Castillo de la Mota. He is 47 years old and Francisca just under 17, page 280. Hernando Pizarro, the one who, of all the Pizarros, was the one who had the best bearing, and according to Atahualpa, the only one among the Spaniards who seemed to be a gentleman, page 287. There is another protagonist, Fear, page 34. Everyone was afraid in that time of destruction and creation. Along with fear, betrayal, page 201, as in the case of Captain Sebastián Garcilaso de la Vega, or the loyal man of the 3 hours. What a nickname. An attempt is made to combine various aspects of Inca history and culture, such as the legend of the omens of the conquest, of those 3 rings that surrounded the moon, which the Inca Huayna Capac once saw and which announced destruction, page 82. Even the seques, that set of sacred imaginary lines and points from the Coricancha, the main temple in the center of Cusco, to the confines of the Inca territory. It seemed somewhat forced to me, I must say, as well as putting into Quispeziza's mouth, "We are from the empire of the gentlemen who speak Aymara and Puquina. We are the ones who incorporated Quechua, which is the language of the people of the coast," page 89. Anyway, it was Quispeziza who told Francisca all the episodes until the capture of Atahualpa and the beginning of the destruction of the empire. You learn a lot of history in this book. The first viceroy, Lima, this city is going to be the center of the world, page 53. The very origin of Peruvian food, page 31. The first Quechua grammar, the rebellion of Manco Inca, the cruel murder of the Coya or Empress Curioclio, the Lima Tapadas, the Viceroyal Toledo, the mining mita or forced labor, and the execution of the last Inca rebel, Tupac Amaru I. And not only history of Peru, but history of Spain and Europe, the conquest of Flanders, the transfer from the capital to Madrid, Philip II of Spain and Elizabeth I of England, etc. In short, an altarpiece, a canvas of the history of Peru and the metropolis there on the peninsula. There are also situations and reflections, deep thoughts and analysis of what happened and still happens. For instance, number 1, realizing that one is neither indigenous nor Spanish. She said, "I had dark skin, other features, another line, another face," page 35. Or when she says, "I don't know what blood runs inside me. I am made of everyone, but I am different from them," page 110. It seems like the trauma or complex of mestizos that in some way we have perhaps felt, and we have to do catharsis, exorcise those atavistic demons. Number 2, the situation of women. Women are spoils that men exchange, page 66. But they are also the ones who have to decide, page 129, and calm the men, page 130, who, as the same page says, are very good at fighting and very bad at understanding each other. So, at least before traveling to Spain, there is a female universe of support. Hernani Catalina, Inés Muñoz, and Quispeziza. Different women, but women in that man's world. Number 3, the obsession of men. The 2 brothers, Huáscar and Atahualpa, wanted everything, as men always want everything. And because they want it all, they lose it all. Page 79. Number 4, probably the most important to me, the generous and philanthropic aspect is also highlighted. By sending aid for the development of several churches in Peru, page 329, remodeling, rebuilding, and building new churches, page 371, and furthermore, that pride and longing for Peru absorbed into the Spanish Empire. If Francisca and Hernando's palace in Trujillo de Extremadura would display a Spanish shield over chained heads of Inca warriors, which represented the triumph of the Spanish over the Indians on page 362, it would also have the busts of Francisco and Hernando, Spanish, herself a mestiza woman, and her mother Quispecisa, symbol of the Inca Empire which, at least symbolically, if not politically, refused to disappear. Last but not least, number 5, she knew that the history books might not talk about her, page 361, but here not only does she speak, but speaks to us, almost 5 centuries after those episodes. One of the first Peruvians tells us her vision and version, reconciling us with our history and the tumultuousness of our native and Spanish origin. Highly recommended. A work by Mr. Cueto, who emphasizes that this is a novel, not a history book, but he has revised an impressive number of sources. A historical novel that gives voice to a woman about whom so little is known, but who, as the title says, with her noble Inca and Spanish blood, can only be the princess of Peru. Bye bye.